Yeah, when we have two beautiful people on the video already, why do we need Kareem to spoil it?
Yeah, exactly. I actually put the recording on just to see the nice face of Kareem, you know, along with his children.
We have the evidence.
Along with the children, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
just to prove the point that we are well and alive, and COVID-19 is 100% under our control. Right?
Yeah.
So what's happening, Kareem? Are you coming in, or I mean, can you switch on your video?
Yeah, I'm trying to. 1 second.
Okay.
Allow Zoom to access your camera from device. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not very familiar with Zoom, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Let me...
Well, that is although we have developed a better system than Zoom now, you know, which will be free and much clearer and better. So one of our Chinese partners. Yeah. It's not. I mean, Google Meet is also very good now, but this is Pyrapod.
Yeah.
It's a Chinese system, and we are using holochain technology to do the same situation like Zoom is doing, but that is free. And you can have your own meeting room permanent address. You don't have to change your address.
You've got that on Zoom as well.
Yeah, same thing. But I mean, Zoom, you have to pay. There is a 40-minute limit, and it's pretty similar to Zoom. Yeah, I can see Kareem now.
Yep.
So who is on the other iPhone? Your iPhone is also connected. Okay.
No, that's Kareem. He's got his two iPhones working.
Yeah.
One's in stereo.
Yep. now we are okay. Now we are fine. Okay. So
now Kareem is so old. He's used to those telephones where you had one bit like this, and you had the other bit you had to hold up to your ear like that.
Old is gold.
Exactly. And I think Kareem is very right. We have to go back to those old days where I used to enjoy a total quality life, GMO free seeds, all the good food,
That's right.
So I really remember my dad today, the kind of things he used to feed us. And he's the person who is responsible for my PhD.
Right. Is your father the gentleman that's in the pictures behind you?
Well, that's our sort of a spiritual father. Okay.
Right. Okay.
And my brand, SAMS, is actually the abbreviation of his name, Sayyidna Ali Qadar Mufaddal Saifuddin. We have a very strong community of entrepreneurs in London also, so we are actually about, say, 500,000, people, all entrepreneurs, very vibrant entrepreneurs, and all, the beauty of this whole, community is this: whatever SAMS tell us to do, we do it. No questions asked.
Okay.
So it's a very unified kind of a community,
It's like getting a message from God to say, this is what you should be doing.
Do it like this, and it is done. People do it. And why I did it? Because, I did my PhD, James, for just 5,200 Pakistan rupees.
My goodness, what's your PhD
And it was given to me by the father of SAMS, Sayyidna Muhammad Burhanuddin, with the blessing to go and get the, higher education in USA.
Right, my word. See, what's the subject of your PhD?
Well, I did my master's in chemical engineering, and I was working on the environmental problem at that time also. That was my master's thesis. All the pollution which our industry creates, in Detroit. I was trying to monitor that pollution at that time to see what the level was, and now the level has risen quite a bit. So that was my topic at that time for master's thesis. And then I diversified into food science, went to University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and got a PhD in food science. and then had some wonderful experience in Canada, Nova Scotia, the beautiful, cleanest place on the face of the earth, enjoyed postdoctoral research over there. And then I said, enough of North America, because my dad and my mom didn't want it to live in a cold weather, So he said, Mufaddal, please come back. We miss you. So I came back, and then I started a PNG in Pakistan, Procter & Gamble. So that is, and the last sort of, employment I had was as an associate professor in one of the business schools, So that gave me the overall, experience of really, running the business, as well as, teaching how to do business to everyone. So that's what it is, So that's a small, nutshell, a career in a nutshell.
And do you still have your connections in Canada?
Oh yeah, very, very strong. Very strong connections. And as a matter of fact, very soon, maybe in about a week's time, we will have SAMS TQLMA Global Canada also incorporated as a foreign direct investment company, so that there is $1 billion available by, the PM Trudeau to do this rapid housing project.
I was always pleasantly surprised by Canada, because you have a lot of that. When I worked in Canada, I found that the people tend to be very very inclusive.
Oh, very inclusive society. And, I, during my PhD, during my master's, when I was in Detroit, I used to go in the weekend, to Windsor, enjoy the weekend over there, fill my tank up, for the whole week, because the petrol was cheaper over there, and then come back. So it was very, very relaxing, And Canada is beautiful, when you go out there, it's clean, it's nice. People are so friendly. So it's a wonderful, wonderful country. And now you've got a wonderful, prime minister who is now really making everything inclusive, welcomes everybody.
Yeah, I liked it because they say that it's not just enough to have laws that say things.
Exactly.
They say you have to believe it and act on it. And
act on it. Exactly.
So one of the things that got me there was their tendency to look at learning difficulties. My son's autistic.
Okay.
And I specifically chose to work with a particular Canadian company because their commercial social responsibility was sponsoring research on autism.
Exactly.
And that's what attracted me to the country. So a lot of my friends from Germany emigrated to Canada, but my wife would never agree. But now I'm single. I will probably do it.
Okay. So I think
so we have to find him a wife.
Karim, we have to find a nice young, entrepreneurial lady for James, a Canadian, lady. Why not?
Yeah.
Because
late 30s, early 40s.
No problems. A nice young Canadian engineering graduate. Okay, we'll find one for you, because one of our program is to really enroll everybody into GEMBA program, so they study together, and then in 53 months we make them a millionaire family.
Oh, and that would be my dowry for them, will it?
Sure thing. Case study. Why not? Right? So then we can teach everybody in UK how to live a total quality life,
Yep, definitely. In fact, I don't think we should teach that. I think we should just put it on the national curriculum.
Exactly. And that is exactly what we are trying to do, James. Because, this employee mindset, which has been taught, in the current curriculums of both UK and USA, I'm challenging that.
Well, I call it modern day slavery.
It is.
Yeah,
it is worse. This slavery is worse than, the slavery which was in practice 100 years ago. This is worst.
I think, on the property business, we had this statement, our mission statement was, essentially, we believe that everybody's entitled to a place where they can feel safe, secure, and and comfortable.
Right.
And they shouldn't live in fear of losing it because of circumstances they neither control or influence.
Correct. Exactly.
Because what we find everybody's always at risk of is losing their home. They can't make a mortgage payment or a rent payment.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, but if you destroy that person's home and where they feel safest and comfortable,
right.
then I think people don't have the quality of life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 And I
But
think our program, one of our program, James, is this. That, yesterday I was discussing this with our engineers in Pakistan. That okay, do we have land available? Because the architect asked me a question. So I said, well, the land which is available, most of the planet is water. So, whatever land is available, it is given to us by God Almighty so that we can comfortably live together. And if we don't live comfortably together, then the water will consume you.
China has a hydrographic service that goes around the world looking for new islands.
Right.
So every time an island pops up out of the volcanic and undersea activity,
right,
they claim it for China.
They claim it to China, yeah, and exactly.
I think, but when you're saying that, if God is heating up the earth and making new islands come in,
correct.
The thing is, they're not going to be Muslim, they're not going to be Christian, they're going to be Chinese.
Chinese, and I think, and you are 100% right, and China and Pakistan enjoys a very good relationship, right? So, we said, okay, and I mean, this has happened, literally it has happened, because most of the Chinese are coming into the CPEC project to Pakistan. Okay, and they found out that in China, they were really slaves. Okay, so they love the freedom in Pakistan.
That's right. That's why you get so many of these Chinese companies out and about now.
So actually, I mean, China also practiced slavery. It's also a modern day slavery of their kind. Okay. So, I mean, what we are looking at it is, coming up with a system whereby very, very silently, all this kind of slavery gets eliminated. And the only way to eliminate slavery is to become a millionaire.
Yeah, it gives you choice.
That's it. No choice there. Then when you are a millionaire, then everybody listens to you.
Yeah, even if you're not right.
Everybody will listen to you. Yeah, James is a millionaire, man. Listen to him.
I always found it was easy to be a millionaire. I've done it several times. It's keeping the millions that's difficult. Yeah, the first million is difficult, okay? After that, it simply multiplies. Yeah. And people ask me this question, when I tell them that, okay, in 53 months, when you join my GEMBA program, with 5,300 people's gold coin, which is equivalent to 10,600 Canadian dollars, in 53 months, I will make you a millionaire. Right. And they asked me a question. I mean, are you crazy? How can you do that? So I said, Google it. The climate smart food business is a $5 trillion a year business. So if you are operating a $5 trillion a year business, a millionaire is a poor person. Yeah. Okay. My poorest TQL club member will be a millionaire. Because we'll have a series of billionaires out there, Yeah. I think it's shocking that you only do things for such low paid people. Exactly. That is the problem, you see. So that is actually what I'm after. And I'm actually, when people tell me I need a job, I said, well, we don't give jobs, we simply make millionaire. Are you interested in becoming a millionaire? Come and work with me. What I found quite amazing with people is they feel like they have security because they have a job and they have a salary. Exactly. And entrepreneurs are always told, oh, well, we can't do anything with entrepreneurs because they're not secure and they don't have guaranteed income. Correct. And I think these two things, okay, has been created by banks and insurance companies. Yeah. Oh, if you want to go insurance company bashing, I definitely want to join.
That's it. We are finishing them. I mean, no insurance.
I remember it used to be called extortion. Because all the things that they provide you insurance from, they then renege on the deal when you try to claim.
Exactly.
So the
actually, I have experienced it myself, James, when, you know, this Louisiana people were, you know, engaged in this flood in Louisiana. Everybody came to Houston. I gave everybody home. You know, and then when they were trying to claim money from the insurance, they say, okay, it's not covered. Natural disaster is not covered.
Yeah.
So they eat up all your money, and then, you know, they said that, okay, it's not covered. And if you, even if you try to fight the case and stuff like that, probably it will take 10 years before, you know, they give you anything. And then also it's not worth that much, you know, after that.
By which time your family doesn't want to talk to you anymore. The stress of trying to live like that, the family has destroyed itself. Yeah, yeah.
So my MBA students, James, you know, one of my students who is an entrepreneurial professor now, actually did the root cause analysis, and he came up with this two things. If we get rid of banks and insurance companies, I think we'll enjoy a very good life.
What about politicians?
These are the two entities. They don't add any value to anybody. No value added.
I was saying my question was also, what about politicians?
Well, actually politicians are, you know, politicians are puppets.
Yeah, because the thing I always find funny is they promise to voters that they will represent their interests, and then once they're in positions, they seem to be funded by the insurance companies and the banks. And
exactly. So they are the puppets.
Yeah.
Even if they are nice people, they are puppets. They cannot do anything. You know, I mean, that's what I actually elected President Obama twice. He didn't deliver. Then I found out that President Obama is a great friend. Okay, he's a great guy, but actually he was a puppet. You know, he couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I think they're prevented from doing things.
That's it. They prevent you from doing things. So the only way to actually solve this problem is this, to develop climate smart leaders, to develop billionaires and trillionaires, so they cannot become puppet of anybody. And I want to have one requirement from every country to make a law that only PhDs can become presidents.
No, I wouldn't want that.
We should, you know, there should be the qualification.
No, I think
for a PhD, I mean, for a president or for the head of the state.
Narrows the thinking, too narrow-minded.
Right?
Because if you're dyslexic, you can't get a PhD.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is this, that actually, when you put that requirement, then I think people will acquire education. They will respect education.
Yeah, there's a way of making the education respected. If it wasn't, my experience of the educated people in this country has been that they become snobbish.
Yeah, this is because of the system.
Yeah, and it doesn't promote thinking; it promotes passing exams.
This is and you know what we are talking about is this.
I think it would be better if it was compulsory for anybody who is a politician. That they couldn't even be chosen to therefore even be considered to be a president or something similar unless they'd done a theology degree.
Yeah, exactly. This is what exactly we are talking about. Theology.
But I wish it to be something that they talk, not necessarily just write.
Well, actually, what my educational model is this, okay? I am a JIT expert, okay? Toyota production system, just in time. So I am now implementing just-in-time application of knowledge from preschool to PhD. Whatever you learn today, you apply. If you apply today, you will never forget. And doesn't really matter if you fall, you know, we are there to, you know, hold your hands. Try anything you want, but apply. Otherwise, knowledge is a burden you are carrying on your shoulder. You carry that burden for 4 years. After you graduate, you forget everything. And then, you are a dumb employee, somebody exploits you.
And then they become over 50 and they're made redundant because they don't know anything.
They don't know anything after that. You see? And now they are worried what's going to happen to them after retirement.
They can stand to be president of America.
Yeah. And that is what actually democratic system flaw is. Okay, in a democratic system, we know today that 90% of the people are not qualified or not educated. Okay, and we are counting votes of dumb people who doesn't know how to decide who should be the leader. And this is a universal law that, the dumb president will rule the dumb people.
Well, there's this thing about the fact that you get promoted to your level of incompetence.
Yeah,
exactly. In the meritocracy, isn't it? Because if you are doing really well at your good, to reward you, we promote you. But when you don't get promoted anymore, what we're actually saying is you're not any good in the job you're in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, so which means that.
And people ask me this question, James, why you retired, why you left Procter & Gamble, the beautiful, wonderful company, when you were in the really enjoyable position, top of the company, top of the line. I left the company at that time, okay?
Yeah, before they found out you left before they found out how incompetent you were in the job.
No, actually, what happened was this, that it took them 6 months of interviewing me with my cap and beard just to convince themselves that Mufaddal Mirza is not going to create his own P&G. They were worried about that.
Yeah, more worried about that, aren't they?
They were more worried about that. But unfortunately, they didn't have any choice because I was the only person who could start up their company in Pakistan. So they had to hire me. And now, as a matter of fact, I am actually trying to create a climate smart P&G, which is free from banks and insurance companies. So that all P&G facilities are mine, in a way. Because currently they are not climate smart.
No, we're not.
They're not.
No. And it's like the thing I always see with it's things like the shortage of drinkable water.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they can make money at it, they don't want to actually go for the solutions.
Right. True.
Yeah. So, but I always felt, with the I was looking at bringing drinkable water in deserts, just by using things like filters,
right?
Condensing, or even for anything that was where the desert meets the sea, places like that. We were looking at desalination, and you only need the sunlight to do it.
Exactly.
But they won't do it because they're thinking, well, we're going to lose out on the money that we charge for water.
True.
You just think, but your water is so bad to drink. What's wrong with just giving us water? Because you want to sell all the water of all this other added stuff to give the impression that you're doing something better than God.
Right. Actually, Professor Tony calls these plastic bottles, water bottles, as bottles. And, one of our mission is to get rid of them.
Good. Yeah. I think that would be great news. There was something that was produced a long time ago, which was basically the only drinking water bottle you'd ever need because it has a filter in it. So you can collect any water you want, including the water you make if you really feel inclined.
Exactly.
And because it filters it, you can drink it.
Right.
And then I started looking into, well, if that was made available, what would be the new industry? The industry would be making and replacing filters. So the industry wouldn't be, I'm a water supplier.
Right.
I'm the person that maintains the water infrastructure.
Exactly.
That's the job you have to convince them that they're doing, not providing me something that's free.
Correct.
So why am I paying for something that God gives us for free?
Exactly. True.
Yeah?
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. So they with all the pollution, etc., we have in the environment, that seems to be designed to make the pools of water undrinkable. So I have to buy the product from you, but God gave it to me for free. So I want it back, please, because it's my birthright, everybody's birthright.
True.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think if you give the other thing about water is if we're in a climate that's getting forever warmer, we're going to have plenty of water. So where are we going to move all the populations of people? Well, we've got plenty of deserts.
Right. True.
But if you can bring them the water, well, as we always know, you can bring fertility to the deserts if you've got water in them.
Right. Exactly.
And I just keep thinking it seems to be conspired to stop you doing that because they want everybody to stay in their geographical boundaries, because I don't want to share my resources with your resources.
Correct.
But I don't think it's ever occurred to things like the Americans that they're the people who are probably going to be displaced more than the people in, say, Yemen.
Yep. True.
So it'll be all these Americans that are trying to get into Mexico that wall would be preventing from getting into.
True. Actually, we are trying to create a situation, now we are talking about a global village, I mean, everything is doable. And I consider COVID-19 as a big blessing for us, so that all the waste which was, present before COVID-19 somehow got eliminated. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we are talking about a new way of life, and this is the right time to really create it and practice it.
Well, that's the same thing happened. We had the big plagues in Europe in the 14th century, and that removed serfdom. By the time we got to the 17th century and serfdom had been re-established in different guises, they called them apprenticeships. We had another plague, another Black Death, and that removed the suffrage that we had from that system. So COVID is now I think it's the plague that's going to basically set people free.
Right. Exactly. And that is, I think, what has happened in this situation. And I think this is also the universal law that if you dug a hole for someone else, you will fall in it. That has happened actually. For the creator of these menace, they are now actually, very, very afraid of going into their own graves, which they have actually created.
Yeah. Now, you just reminded me of another metaphor somebody said. They said the idea about staying in government is that you dig a hole somewhere and take the dirt that you've got to fill somebody else's hole.
Right.
And what they do is they take the dirt out they've got and they put it in somebody else's hole until somebody fills in. So if I dig enough holes, I can attract lots of people to put dirt in my holes.
Right.
But I have to export my dirt, so everybody's got dirt to put into my holes.
Correct. And what we are,
how the world works.
And I think what we are trying to do is this, that exactly what you just mentioned, if you keep your dirt clean, nice, and this is what we are talking about these, nice soils which we are creating. So I think that is a treasure which we are trying to, provide food with. And that is our project, to make sure that, everybody is delighted. We keep the earth, the way it should be. All the waste can get eliminated, gets transformed into value. And then, we go to those natural, way of growing food, the food which I was fed by my dad, I want to really feed the same kind of food to my children. So that is in a nutshell our program. And we are going to be, implementing it. We are ready to execute the program globally now, based on the Procter & Gamble model. So I'm setting up my company as a foreign direct investment company in all countries, getting all the incentives like Startup New York program, from the governments, and helping everybody out. This is what we want to do.
I just noticed something. We've got 8 minutes left on this call. If you transfer the host to me, my license won't expire.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, let's see if you can transfer it to me.
I will make you make you the host. Let's see how I can do that.
Can you do that?
Make host, yeah. I've just done that. So we can continue with you being a host now.
It's not made me host yet.
I just did that.
Still
Make
showing you as
host.
host.
Make host, yeah.
No, it's still showing you as host. Let me
Yeah, they want to change the host. Yeah, now it's there.
yeah, it's me. Yeah.
Now we
Okay,
are there.
good.
Now we are there.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a meeting request again and take it over because it's still going to go through. Now, let me just see.
Can we continue with this, or do we need to sign in again?
No, your license isn't letting me take over, unfortunately.
Okay, all right.
So what I suggest is let me re-establish the call.
Okay.
With us being hosts. So I probably don't have an email address for you.
Okay.
So can you send me your email address?
I will do that in the chat.
Okay, good.
So you're going to send us a new link?
I'll send you a new link, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we conclude this meeting, and then, you know, we continue a fresh one.
Go through. Okay, let me do that now.
Okay, all right.
I'll see you in a moment then.
Shall I leave and?
Yeah, you can just terminate this one, then I can send my invite.
Okay, all right.